Namaskar दोस्तों. Today's my topic is child labor. What is the child labor? In our country, many people are doing business and they give the job of a child who is below 15-year-old. That is the kind of child labor comes in front of us. And we are living in the society where people not understand the value of childhood, where the people not understand the value of education of the children, which is a totally unacceptable things. But how these things will start? First of all, we should understand. In India, if we're talking about our country, then we can see many people are below the poverty line and they have nothing to eat both times, like breakfast or dinner, and they do not lunch never, because it is the reality of any kind of child labor process begins from this type of situations. Because if a child, why the child go for the jobs? Most of child go for jobs because there is no income in their house, there is no food in their house, there is no facility to educate themselves in the house, there is no facility to live properly in the house. So their parents send their children to for the work, and so this type of things coming in front of us. We can in the society, whenever I go for the market, we can see the children working very dedicatedly, and I'm asking them, why are you working here? Then he told me that there is nothing to eat in the home, and this is the reality. And when there is nothing to eat the home, then how can a children who spend his childhood very well? This is the problem we face in India, and it's also like everywhere in the world. Not India, but we're talking about neighbors country of India also be doing this the same type of things, because every human beings go for work for just for his hunger, for need someone who depend on him. So it is the kind of process which is coming from all type of but some intelligent people always thought that the child labor is a crime. I understand what is the crime or what is the not crime. Crime is when you are doing something which is not good for someone. It is the crime. If government take care of these type of childs and give some money to their family, their child never come to the market for the work. And sometimes and some cases are, we can see some child is a very low child work for anything in a very low prices. So some shopkeepers hire this type of a child because they have a low price mazdoors, laborers. So I think this is the basic thought process of a shopkeeper of any industries owner, who think that the child is a very cheap labor who can work very easily and get income in a very less amount. So if this is the type of a process we can see in around us. So whenever we think about the child labor, the first point is come in our mind is the child. What we should think so they can stop the laboring. We should first of all be assure the education of the child. We should assure the need of food of the child and his family, because the families are not capable to feed the food to these type of children. So the children going outside for work, and government should take the proper decisions for this. But if you make only just law will not work if you are not focusing this problem very sincerely. So this is the right way which I am talking about the child labor. The child labor comes from very old times, because the child's it is not is the problem who generated today. It is the problem of past, because every shopkeeper who think that child is very cheap, so they can give the work very easily and they work whatever they want. So it's the very simply, and child never offended very and never shopkeeper never angry on the child sometimes, because they know he's a child and the work is always, and they talk any type of a language to the child. So these are some type of benefits who see in the child by the shopkeeper. So I think this is not the right way to judge any child labor. But the child labor is also a crime according to the law of Indian Penal Code. So I think that is the process which we should understand, what we think about it, what we can do for the child, so the child labor will be stopped. First of all, the poverty is the main reason for the child labor, and second is there is the family who is unmanaged, and there is no management plan. When the uneducated people, uneducated means not I'm insulting someone. Uneducated means they have no sense about the management, but they know they are human beings and they're living their lives. But the fault is not of them. The fault of the you can say that by the choice of time, but it's not clear the message, because children is the innocent human who is just developing his nature, character according to the surroundings, but he involved in some type of workout, which is just only after sometimes the children depend on this shopkeeper who work in this of for a lifetime, this type of a mentality will increase in the child labor. So child labor on the other side is a very heinous crime, because a man who spent whole life in a shopkeeper so, and so I think this should be a very punishable if we think that child labor is not good. But we should also be took some important actions about that. If the child is working by on choice, then we should ask why you are working, and if you have no choice without working to living their life, then we should free to them to work, but compulsory the education, free education we should provide to him. And also we talk to some who give the job like a shopkeeper, we talk to them, you should give some time for the education for him, and some management type of these things, if they run in all over the country, then we can stop the child labor, in negative side, which create the more problems in our society to the child. So I think that is the point where we are lacking some of knowledge of the child labor. We should always think very thoroughly about the child labor. We are not thinking in one direction, that is he's a child and doing the work labor, but we are not know the whole story behind the child, why he come to the shop to work. We can, what we should to stop these all things. Can we punish the shopkeeper? It's not right. Some cases it is not right, but some cases some type of shopkeeper by their own powers, they give the work to the child and give them order to do it right now. This type of order, some type of like their fathers take some money from them, and the shopkeeper want to capture all money by the help of the children. So these all type of things we can see in the society. But the truth is most of cases is the poverty, because poverty is the biggest disease in our country. So we should stop all the type of these things, but we should focus on the real situation, not the real not the AI content. We should understand, we should thinking about the background story. When we thinking about the background story, then we can understand the whole scenario which was happening with the child. Because child is not a person or a human being who just doing this work with his choice, by the sum of responsibility. He is doing this work by the sum of responsibility, by some of necessity, by need. And the need always doing something, a work which is not by the choice. People always work without his choice, because the need is a demand. When the need is come in front of us, you can't think about what is the right, what is the wrong. But in this era, we can just, if we are proper educated person, if we are well educated and we have a good organization, like we are connected with NGO, then we should think and we should come forward to help these type of children, because children is the future of our country. I hope you will understand what I want to say in my little points which I keep in front of you. Thank you guys. Jai Hind.